Welcome, hero. Are you here for knowledge? That's all I have to offer. Knowledge of the most OP builds. Builds the devs will have to nerf to bring us back from the brink of immortality. Builds so powerful, even the gods will fear us, for we will strike them down and prove they're just immortal compared to us.
Hey everybody, it's Boardman21, and today's build is going to be the Werebear using some totems, some healing procs. We did a hybrid of the Spriggan tree. We're using that as well so that when healing totems get summoned when we get hit, we're getting 5 of them instead of 1. And we also, as you can see, have our thorn totems set up to do a bunch of chill and have chill damage over time when they disappear. And with our totem hits on idle proc, we can get a bunch of them and stack them, and overall our defenses are just super high with above 70% on everything. We're also running 572 health regen, so just a super crazy tanky build. And with that, let's get into the skills. For skills, we are running the Spriggan form, Swipe, Entangling Roots, Thorn Totem, and Werebear form. For Spriggan form, what we're running is everything for the healing totem. So we have the healing totem duration up 100% with 100% more health, called Reinforced Totem, all 5 points there. 1 point in Spiked Totem, so that your healing totem now takes and uses your Thorn Totem skill tree, very important. 5 points in Nurture for increased healing effectiveness from your healing totems, and then 1 point in Second Wind so that you can have 2 additional healing totems. And the way this works is you can still have 5, but you need this point in order to go from 4 to 5 on the thorn tree for whatever reason. When you summon it, that's just how it works. And then our final 1 point for a total of 3 points will go into Veil Tide. For healing totems, have a chance to summon Veil Spirit on death, which will be at 100%. Already tested this. You don't actually get the Veil Spirits to summon though. This node does not work, which is unfortunate because every 5 seconds we're usually summoning the healing totems and you get 5 of them, so it would have been cool to have a bunch of Veil Spirits going around killing stuff or at least hitting it, but it doesn't work. And then we have Swipe. For Swipe, we're running 4 points in Battle Howl, 1 point in Aspect of the Panther, 3 points in Feline Hunter, 1 point in Apex Predator, 2 points in Frenzy, 4 points in Wagarium Reach, and 2 points in Kill Threshold Cooling, 1 point in Claw Totem, and 1 point in Avatar of the Wild. For Entangling Roots, we're using this strictly for heals and mana regen. You need that so that you can stay in Werebear 100% of the time. What's nice is with our health regen, even if you come out of Werebear form, you're not super untanky. You can still run around until you can get back in Werebear. Or since we're also running Spriggan, you can jump into Spriggan really fast, which also has the increased armor and protections when you're transformed into it, which will help until the Werebear cooldown comes off, because you can go back and forth between the two. Their cooldowns are separate, so that 20-second cooldown does not affect the other, so you can go between both forms if you come out of Werebear form. Now for Entangling Roots, we have 5 points in Nourish, 1 point in Bountiful Harvest, 1 point in Mana Bloom to get your mana back, Multi-Patch, 2 points in Reclamation, 5 points in Lasting Briar so that you have the full duration, 3 points in Groove Master for the area, and then just 1 point in both the Bleed and the Poison Chance just to do a little bit of extra damage. For Thorn Totem, we have Thorn Totem set up to get the maximum number of them, so we have 3 points in Forested Expansion, 3 points in Eternal Force to increase duration, 1 point in Groove Mind, so they're all summoned at once, 2 points in Memories of Edera just to open up the Poison Chance, 5 points in Venom Tipped Thorns, which we then convert to Chill and Freeze Chance. So 1 point Ice Thorn Totems with 1 point in Frost Attunement, and then those swirly little damage over time things that you see is 4 points in Rotten Core up here. Will give you a 100% chance for a Poison Cloud, which is now a Chill Cloud instead. So it'll be doing those 5 frosty swirling things that all have a chance to chill every second. And then our Werebear, we have 6 points in Ursine Heart for the armor and protections, 1 point in Wizard Claws for the increased spell damage, increased critical strike chance with Star Claw, 2 points in Thick Skin, 2 points in Ironhide, 1 point in Entangling Roots, 4 points in Rip and Tear, 2 points in Hightail, 1 point in Enduring Blow, so we get our mana back on a crit strike. We do have 100% critical strike, and then we are running the Entangling Roots every time we war. and we did not take the mana efficiency this time, so it is an expensive skill, costing a total of 20 mana, but thankfully for the way we have Entangling Roots set up, the 1 mana per patch with 3 patches lasting for roughly about 10 seconds, it ends up giving us all of our mana back, and those are our skills. For passives, in the main class, we're running 8 points in Primal Strength for the health regen, 6 points in Survival of the Pack for the leech, 1 point in Hunter's Restoration just for a chance to heal every 3 seconds, 5 points in Natural Attunement for some protections, and then we have Beastmaster, which we're running 5 points in Savagery, and then 1 point in Ambush just so we can prospect aspect of the shark, 6 points in Leech, 5 points in Boarheart, 5 points in proc'n Constitution to get that full 30% damage reduction and 75% increased health regen. And if you have more points, proccing this on hit would be nice. I will switch my tree around later to take away some of the leech and put into the Primal Strength node so that you have a chance to proc it without actually having to be hit. We have 8 points in Shaman, which is just for the 160% increased health regen while you have an active totem, which is huge, and we will always have totems being active. And then 64 points in Druid. We have 6 points in Blood Claws, 8 points in Soul's Attendant, 5 points in Healing Totems. You want this 5 points because this 10% chance to summon a healing totem nearby when you're hit is what's you can only have this proc once every 5 seconds, but that gives you the 5 healing totems around you, and you're always being hit, so you're always basically going to have 5 healing totems, and the healing totems last for 15 to 20 seconds, so you can actually get anywhere from 5 to 15 of these up at one time as long as they're not dying, and your roots heal them as well, so they stay alive pretty well. And then these are healing you, roots is healing them, roots is healing you. These things are all doing since they have the Thorn Totem, they're all shooting thorns, they're all having freeze chance, they're all doing the Chill Swirly Cloud when they die, so you get lots of those, so you get some damage over time out of it. We have 2 points in Tremor, 5 points in Spirit Claws, 8 points in World Lore for the Vitality and 40% chance to poison on hit, 10 points in Ferocity, 2 points in Force Fervor, 5 points in Defense of the Heart. This is a huge one, you must have that. And then we have 8 points in Soothing Slaughter so that we have the 8 health on every crit, which is basically every hit, and we get 80% healing effectiveness, which helps Entangling Roots and the healing totems heal us. For items, currently we're running a one-handed Raider Axe. You can run this with a two-handed Savna and do way more damage. Ours has 175 elemental protection, all stats on it, along with the melee attack speed and melee critical strike chance. So you still get 100% crit chance with this, but right now we're running the one-handed just because we can get the shield, which allowed us to get glancing blow per set item, which allowed us to wear Edera's boots instead of having to have glancing blow on the boots in order to get 100% glancing blow. So it's kind of a take. If you want the boots, I go one-handed. If you don't want the boots, I ran a two-handed weapon and boots, then had glancing blow. But I'm going to hover over all these real quick. The main thing that we have is set health regen and set elemental protection on our amulet, on our 2 rings, and on our relic. Everywhere else, your helm, your chest, and your gloves, we have health regen per second. And anywhere else, we just have protections added along with health regen added. And then obviously Edera's boots. We also got 2 lucky rolls on our rings. Both rings have 20% increased elemental protection as gold rings. And then for idols, you can do a little bit of different things with the idols. What we're running is mostly health regen while transformed, but we have an 8% chance to summon a Thorn Totem on hit. And what's nice is, so you do a hit, you proc this, you get your 5 Thorn Totems, and then let's say you hit again and it procs it again, 2 in a row. Those 5 that disappeared each make, since they died, they each make the swirling chill chance proc. So that's how you stack a bunch of those, is when you're hitting a bunch of enemies all at once, you just get a bunch of those, and the damage over time on them isn't great, but when you get enough of them stacked, it does alright, and it just kind of looks pretty cool. And then we have an 8% chance to cast an Avalanche Bolt on a nearby enemy on melee attack. We took this one because it also gives us 97% increased health regen while transformed. Same with the 2 up top. We have percentage increase of health regen on both of them, and that's what we're going for almost a total of 300% health regen. So like you can see, just standing here, we have 448 health regen, which is about as low as it'll go. As soon as we get a totem, which if we get lucky, we'll proc one here, which we did, and you can see we jump up to 532, and then when you do a when you get hit melee, you proc aspect of the boar, which gives you 75% more, which will give you that 577 or whatever we had at the start of the video. And with that, I'll go ahead and do some gameplay for you, show you how it procs, and I'll leave that character screen up so you can see the defenses. As you can see, our damage is pretty low. That's because we're running the one-handed weapon. Also, we are level 100, so that doesn't help. But you can see our defenses sit, you know, from 70 to 73% on everything, and even in the 80s for the elemental and armor. So really defensive tank. I'll let you watch the health for a little bit. Even when you get tail slammed and stuff. And remember, we are level 100, so this is the most damage that you can get hit by from mobs. This is also where they have the most life and the most protection, so they take a little bit longer to kill. The other thing that's healing us on top of getting 572 health a second from regen is the fact that Entangling Roots is also healing us for about 400 health a second when we're in all 3 patches, and we're actually usually in 6 patches for about half the time, so it's up to 800. So between those two, you're just being healed massively. If you take off the boots, you lose a little bit of healing effectiveness and the chance to proc it when you're moving, but you do get the two-handed weapon instead, which hits about 3 times harder than this, which I will switch to it here in just a second just to show you what it will look like when we do that. Alright, I see this is going to take a while. So, as we kill slow, but I'll switch this back around. So we get rid of those. We put on our boots with vitality and glancing blow. We remove the shield that we can't have anymore. And voila, we still have the 100% glancing blow. You're still sitting pretty high on them. You're sitting a little lower on your protections. But we are running a two-handed weapon now. Of course, when you crit, that's going to go up. So yeah, we jump up to almost 80% protections when we're critting. And then you have the +5 all stats really helps with that for defenses. Even with the shields, 11% increased armor protections, it's just not as good. But you lost a bunch of healing effectiveness, but we'll do more damage now. And you can see that those are just stacking massively. You can put them everywhere with how often it procs. And it's not like they do crazy amounts of damage. I think if you watch the damage over time, they're only hitting for like 5 or 6 damage each, which is pretty lame. And we're not going to do any increased spell damage on our character, but there's some gameplay. This character is pushed to wave 480 plus, so it's pretty viable. It's one of the tankiest cares that you can play out there, and I hope you have fun with it.